class 10 students. Assalamu alaikum class 10 students. Uh, First of all, boys, please turn on your cameras. Boys, please turn on your camera. Okay, bete, we will start our. We were doing endocrine glands. We have started in our previous lecture, and we have discussed four glands in our last lecture, which was pituitary gland, thyroid gland, parathyroid gland, and adrenal glands. Okay. Now today we will start fifth gland, which is pancreas. Okay. So pancreas, this is very important, and it produces many important hormones in our body. Boys, please turn on your camera. Okay, so look at here pancreas. You will see pancreas. Pancreas, this organ has two functions. Okay, we all of know where it is located in our body. It is under our stomach. Okay, and this organ has two functions. It perform two functions. First function is that it work as exocrine gland, and it can work as an endocrine gland. And I also told you the difference between exocrine gland and endocrine gland. Exocrine glands are ducted gland, okay, which have duct inside them, and this portion secrete digestive enzyme through a duct into the small intestine. When our food began to, you can also see in the screen, the major part of pancreas is a ducted exocrine, means pancreas can work as exocrine as a ducted gland. This portion secretes means produce digestive enzyme through a duct, means a tube, into the small intestine. When our food reaches into our stomach, and from stomach then it moves forward for digestion in the small intestine, then there is a duct, is a tube which starts from our pancreas to till small intestine, and at that time they produce special hormones which help the food for digestion. But in some, and in other hand, it also work as an endocrine gland. Come to next page. Mm, Work as an endocrine gland. See on the screen. Okay. Now you can see that some portions of pancreas serve as ductless endocrine gland. First of all, we have to keep in mind exocrine means which are ducting gland, which have tubes inside them, and endocrine glands are those which are ductless, which have no tubes, and they directly produce hormones in the blood. Okay, so the second part of the pancreas work as a ductless as an endocrine gland, and this portion contains groups of endocrine cells referred to as isolates of Langerhans. Okay, so it contains a lot of endocrine cells inside them. Okay, and they directly produce hormones in our blood. So they are called as isolates of Langerhans. Langerhans is a name of a scientist who do a lot of work, who did a lot of work on pancreas. So these isolates secretes two hormones. Okay, so it consists of many endocrine cells. So it secretes two hormones. One is called insulin and second is called glucagon. One is called insulin and second is called glucagon. So what is the difference between two? Look at here, glucagon. Glucagon influences the liver to release glucose in blood. Glucagon influences to the liver. Okay, it comes from the liver to release glucose in our blood, and so the blood glucose concentration rises. Insulin influences the liver to take excess glucose from blood, and so the blood glucose concentration falls. In simple words, I can explain to you the function of glucagon and insulin. These both hormones are produced in our pancreas. Okay, and so when if the ratio of sugar is increased in our if decreased in our blood, so at that time it is produced by our liver and it controls the deficiency of glucose in our deficiency of sugar in our blood. And if there is excess amount of glucose is produced in our blood, at that time insulin began to produce and it maintains the excess amount of glucose in our blood. So we can say that glucagon and uh, so we can say glucagon and insulin, they work opposite to each other. They work opposite to each other. Okay, and where they are produced, we have discussed that pancreas work as exocrine gland and as endocrine gland. When it is working an exocrine gland, so at that time a duct comes from pancreas to direct small intestine and help in digestion of the food. And the second part of pancreas work as an endocrine gland. It means that there is no tube, it directly secretes hormones in the blood. So this portion is called isolates of Langerhans, or it consists of many endocrine cells. Okay, so these isolates secretes two hormones, insulin and glucagon. Insulin work at that time when the level of sugar is increased in our blood. At that time, it began to secrete and control the excessive amount of sugar in our blood and come to its original point. And glucagon work at that time if we have deficiency of sugar inside our blood. Then it is produced and it controls the deficiency of sugar in our blood. I hope you understand it. Okay, now come to next part. If a person's pancreas does not make normal quantity of insulin, now this is very important and we all are aware to it, and this is very common nowadays. If a person's pancreas does not make normal quantity of insulin, if it is not produced in a normal way, what will be happen? The blood glucose concentration rises and we say that the person had diabetes mellitus. So if insulin is not proper working in our body, what is the function of insulin? If there is excessive amount of sugar is increased in the blood, at that time insulin began to work and control the excessive amount of sugar inside our body. But if its working is disturbed, if it does not work properly, what will be happen? The concentration rises and we say that the person has diabetes mellitus. So it is called by a diabetes mellitus. So person with diabetes have loss of body weight. What are the symptoms of diabetes? A person has a body loss of body weight, weakening of muscles and tiredness. Okay, so the administration, tiredness, the disease can be controlled by insulin administration. Formerly insulin extracted from animals was used for this purpose. At in past, insulin was taken for this purpose from animals and it was used for the patients of diabetes. But now human insulin produced from bacteria through genetic engineering is available. But the insulin which we are used nowadays, it is produced by a bacteria through genetic engineering. It is produced by bacteria through genetic engineering, and it is very useful for the human body. Okay, so we can say the function of pancreas is very important inside our body because it produces two different types of hormones in our body. First one controls the excessive level of sugar in our blood, and the second one controls the deficiency of sugar in our blood. And if insulin does not work properly, it can cause a diabetes mellitus. So its symptoms are loss of body weight, weakening of muscles, and tiredness. So this disease can be controlled by insulin administration. We all of know, and these examples are in our surrounding. We all of know that people use insulin tablets or injections who are diabetic. They use insulin injections and tablets at daily basis. Okay, now look at here box. The blood glucose concentration means BGC. In short form, we call it BGC. Blood glucose concentration is maintained at the rate of 80 to 120 milligram per 100 ml of blood. It means that in our 100 ml of blood, the rate of sugar should be 80 to 120. Minimum it should be 80 and maximum it should be 120. If the ratio cross till 120 mg, it means a person is a diabetic. If it is less than 80, then a person also at a risk of many diseases. So its ratio should be maintained in our body 80 to 120 milligram in per 100 ml of blood. Okay, now look at the table. This table is very important. This table will tell us about the blood glucose concentration. Okay, so blood glucose after 8-10 hours fast. Okay, if you have taken a meal, after taking a meal of 8 and 10 hours, what is the condition of sugar should be in our blood? So this is a BGC. BGC, I have told you, blood glucose concentration. And diagnosis, this is a report ke what should be happen in our body. So if the ratio of blood glucose is 70 to 99 milligram per 100 ml, if the ratio of glucose in 100 ml blood is equal to 70 to 99 milligram, so it will be called a normal. It will be a normal. If its ratio is from 100 to 125 milligram per 100 ml, then a person is called a pre-diabetic. It means at a risk of diabetes. If its ratio is 126 milligram per 100 ml and above, then a person is a diabetic. So this table tells us about the blood glucose concentration if a person have taken meal, okay, hours fast. If a person has taken a meal and after 8 and 10 hours. Now look at the other table. Blood glucose 2 hours after a 75-gram glucose drink. A person has taken a glucose drink, any sugary drink which has 75-gram sugar in it, and after 2 hours, what will be the condition of the body? So blood glucose concentration and diagnosis. What it be diagnosed? Less than 140 mg per 100 ml. He has taken a sugary solution, okay, and after 2 hours in 100 ml, if there is a sugar 140 mg, then a person is normal. From 140 to 200 per 100 ml. But after 2 hours, if its sugar is between 140 to 200, then a person is at a risk of that a person is pre-diabetic, means it is at a risk of diabetes. And over 200 milligram in per 100 ml, then a person is a diabetic. Okay, so this table is very important. It also help us that how should we maintain sugar inside our body. Now look at here a side box, blood glucose concentration BGC test. The amount of glucose in blood is measured by this test. It is used to diagnose diabetes. Blood glucose may be measured on a fasting basis, collectively after an 8 to 10 hours fast, randomly anytime and after a meal. The results of some BGC tests are given here. So this is the introduction of BGC and this is very important for diabetic patients. Now come to next part. Now pancreas, after pancreas there is an other gland which are called gonads. Okay, so what are gonads? In simple terms, we call it sex organs in body are called gonads. Okay, first one is testes. Testes singular testes and ovaries. Okay, Testes are produced in male and ovaries are produced in female, are the male and female reproductive organs. In addition to producing gametes, gametes means sex cells, gonads also secrete hormones called sex hormones. Testes secrete hormones, for example, testosterone, which is responsible for the development of male secondary sex characters such as growth of hair on face and hoarseness of voice, etc. So gonads, they are reproductive organs, and testes are called male reproductive organ, and ovaries are called female reproductive organs. And male reproductive organs secrete sex hormones, which are called sex hormones. Testis secrete hormones is called testosterone, which is responsible for the development of male secondary sex characters. Okay, and what are they? The growth of hair on face and coarseness. Coarseness means coarseness means um, the growth of the larynx neck, in the neck region. Okay, and the coarseness of voice, etc. Now come to female reproductive organs. Female reproductive organs, these are ovaries. Ovaries secrete estrogen and progesterone, which are responsible for the development of female secondary characters such as the development of breast, etc. So ovaries are the reproductive organ of female, and they secrete two important hormones, estrogen and progesterone, and they are responsible for the development of breast in females. Now your glands has been ended, and we have discussed approximately 6 important glands in endocrine system. Now we will discuss the feedback mechanism. Feedback mechanism means this process which we discuss now, it will tell us about the uh, this this process tells us about the that how these glands work in our body, what are their important, and why this is important for our body. Because glands, when they are working inside our body, they produce two important things. One is positive and other is negative. So what, which thing is positive and which is negative, it will be discussed with the help of this process. So endocrine glands do not secrete their hormones at a constant rate. We have discussed endocrine glands are those which are ductless. So when they will be secrete hormones, they will directly secrete in our blood. So what is the important thing about that? These hormones do not produce hormones at a constant rate, not produce consistently. So the rate varies with the needs of the body. So they work at that time when an action is happen inside the body. If there is no action, if there is no reaction, they will not be produced. Like many other functions in our body, the secretion of hormones is also regulated by feedback mechanism. Feedback mechanism means, this is a definition of feedback mechanism. A mechanism means the regulation of a process by the output of the same process. What is the meaning of feedback mechanism? Okay, it is the regulation of a process by the output of the same process. Okay, something, a reaction is happening is inside the body, and this reaction can be increased. The speed of this reaction can be increased or decreased due to the output of the same process. So feedback mechanism are of two types. Come to next page. Before before starting discussion on feedback mechanism, I would like to discuss all glands with you with the help of a diagram. You can see the diagram is given in your book, endocrine glands in human body. Okay, and we have discussed many glands which we have discussed. You can see in your book. It's a human body figure. Okay, And first of all, we have discussed the pituitary gland, and we also have discussed in the book that these pituitary glands are present in our brain, and it is like a P shape, and it produce many functions which we have discussed in detail in our lectures. Okay, after pituitary gland, we have discussed the thyroid gland. Okay, and these thyroid gland are present in our neck region. Okay, uh, this is the place of a thyroid gland. You can see they are placed in a neck region, and after that you can see there is a parathyroid gland in the posterior of the thyroid. Okay, in front of that, these are parathyroid, they are in 4 number, and this is the at first posterior type they are present, and they are present at the back of the thyroid gland. These are the 4 parts. Then we discuss about the pancreas. Okay, you can see, okay, here, from here the esophagus comes to the stomach. Okay, and above the stomach here is a stomach which is not shown in the diagram, and it's a pancreas which we have discussed today. This is a pancreas, you can also see, and it produces 2 important hormones which are called glucagon and insulin. The function of glucagon, it controls the excessive amount of sugar inside our body, and glucagon controls the deficiency of glucose inside our body, and insulin controls the excessive amount of glucose inside our body. Okay, then we have discussed the adrenal glands, and I have told you that these adrenal glands are present on our kidneys. Okay, and their important function is there to maintain the salts and water inside our body and clean the water. Okay, then we have discussed the gonads. Today we have discussed the gonads, and you can also see these are testes. Okay, they are produced in males, and these are ovaries which are produced in females, and they both are responsible for the secondary sex characteristics in humans because of hormones when they are produced in testes. So because the male have hairs on their face and the coldness of their voice, and when it is produced, it can cause of reproduction of a breast in the body of a female. Okay. Uh, because we are discussing about the mechanism, feedback mechanism. So feedback mechanism can be divided into 2 parts: positive and negative feedbacks. Positive and negative. Okay, when there is some action is happening inside our body, so because of that, uh, uh, in simple words we can say that feedback means that if a process is happening in the body, so uh, so a reaction can be speed up and can be slow because of some other output or input. So what are these output and input in our body? First, we will discuss the negative feedback. What is that? The output of a process decreases or inhibits the process. So it is a process in which a process can be decreased or inhibit. The mechanism works to return a condition towards its normal value. Negative feedback means there is something, a reaction is going up, a condition is going to be changed inside our body. So this mechanism control that situation and take the body again towards its normal value. You can understand with the help of an example. When the blood glucose concentration rises, pancreas secretes insulin. Yes, we have discussed when blood glucose concentration up in our blood, at that time pancreas secrete insulin. Okay, so what is the function of insulin? It decreases the blood glucose concentration. Decline in the blood glucose concentration to a normal set point inhibits glucose secretion. Okay, so decline in the blood concentration. Okay, decline the blood glucose concentration to set up inhibits the secretions of insulin. Similarly, when blood glucose concentration drops below normal, I have told you okay, if it is less in the body, so what will be happen? Pancreas secrete glucagon. It raises the blood. it raises the blood concentration. In this case, rise in the blood glucose concentration to a normal concentration. Sorry, in case rise in the blood glucose concentration to a normal inhibits the secretion of glucose, glucagon. In other words, the blood glucose condition controls the process, the secretion of insulin and glucagon. In simple words, I can explain to you what is this. This is very simple. Uh, when the ratio of glucose in our blood is increased, it is decreased by insulin. If the ratio of blood is decreased, it is controlled by a glucagon. So they both work. Bete, mute yourself. Don't disturb the lecture. Mute yourself. So when the ratio of glucose is increased or decreased, so it is controlled by glucagon and insulin. It is a negative feedback. What is a negative feedback? The ratio of glucose is going up inside the body. So insulin began to secrete hormones and control it. So if the ratio of glucose is going to decrease in the body, so what is the function of uh, um, what is the function of glucagon? It controls the deficiency of sugar inside the body. So this is called a negative feedback. What is a positive feedback? The changes resulting from a process increase the rate of process. The changes resulting from a process increase the rate of a process. Means that if there's something is reaction change in the body, uh, it can increase the process of feedback mechanism. For example, suckling action of an infant. We all of know infant needs milk. So when it sucks the milk from its mother, the production of hormone in mother is increased. This hormone works for the production of milk. So more suckling leads to more hormone. Okay, if infant is suckling from milk from its mother's breast, so when it suck more, because of that more hormone will be produced in the body of a mother, which in turn leads to more milk production. So this is a positive. If there is any change in the body, for example, the suckling action of an infant, okay, if it suck more and more, then more and more hormone will be produced in the body of a mother, and more milk production will be produced in the body of a mother. So it's a positive feedback. But here it's a negative feedback. They work opposite. Okay? If any reaction is going to up, then other thing decrease that reaction. If something is going to decrease, so the reaction is happen and it can increase that reaction. So negative feedback and positive feedback, they both are very important in the body of a they both are very important in the feedback mechanism. Okay, so now your feedback mechanism, this topic has been ended. So in this chapter, your only one topic is left, which are disorders of nervous system, which we will discuss in our next lecture. So I will give you the summary of today's lecture. We have started uh, in this chapter, we have, because we are studying about the coordination, and we have discussed that coordination are of two types: nervous coordination and chemical coordination. In nervous coordination brought by spinal cord and brain, which we have discussed in our previous lecture in detail. We have discussed spinal cord and we also discussed the brain in detail. After that, we also study the receptors in humor, in which we have studied about the ear and eye. Then we have started chemical coordination, and we also have discussed that chemical coordination is brought by endocrine glands. And in the introduction of glands, we have discussed that there are two types of glands. One are called exocrine and other are called endocrine. Exocrine gland are ducted glands which have tubes, and exocrine glands are those which are ductless and they secrete their hormone directly in the blood. Okay, so because of that, we have discussed six important glands of endocrine system. First, we had discussed pituitary gland, which is present in the brain. It is like a pea shape and controls many functions in our body. Second one is thyroid gland, which are present in our neck region and they are responsible for growth. Third one, parathyroid gland, which are supportive glands to thyroid glands. Then we have discussed adrenal glands, which are present in our kidneys. Then we have discussed about the pancreas. Pancreas produce, which we have discussed today. And then we have discussed gonads, which are consist of reproductive organs, and they are also play very important role in our body. And after that, we have discussed the mechanism, how this mechanism work inside our body. It works in two ways, positive feedback and negative feedback. In positive feedback, if a reaction is happening inside the body because of that reaction, it also speed up the reaction. And if it is a negative feedback, so the reaction will be slow. I hope you understand the today's lecture. Now your lecture has been ended. If you have any question, you can raise your hand and ask the question. Thank you so much.